Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Clarity. My name is Sahil, and this is the channel where we talk all about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So, today's video is a special one where we talk about Braintrust, the platform that I've been using and I'm talking about. So, we will be talking with Shirley from Braintrust, and she will be sharing a lot of insights about Braintrust. So, make sure you stay tuned to the end.
The cool thing is the community that relies on Braintrust to find work are the same people who own and build the network to ensure that it always serves the needs of its users instead of the centrally controlled corporations or investors, right? And so the vision of the network from the beginning is to spread economic opportunity more equitably around the world.
Let's go. Hey Shirley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to see you here.
Thanks for
How's
having me.
everything?
Things are good. It's like finally over 60 degrees in Chicago. So I enjoyed the sunshine this afternoon.
It's amazing. It's how everything is changing here. Where I'm in Melbourne, it's getting colder every day. It's getting harder to wake up.
Yeah, now it's your turn.
I'm dreading that already. But yeah, tell me how everything is at Braintrust and how's your things turning out all this year. I've seen that Braintrust is getting a lot of spotlight in the last year. So you can tell me about Braintrust. What are your goals and values, and how Braintrust came into existence?
Yeah, well, I'm really happy to be able to share a lot of great news. To me, it's like any true startup, a roller coaster ride, and I haven't been on such an exhilarating one. I joined Braintrust in early 2020 as one of the first five core team people, and now we've grown to a network of over 700,000 community members in over 150 countries. So that's tremendous growth in a short amount of time. You can imagine how much work and blood, sweat, tears is being put into it.
Exactly.
But maybe a little background on Braintrust first. It's the first decentralized talent
Hmm.
network that connects skilled, vetted knowledge workers with the world's most reputable brands. So companies are hiring talent on the platform, are your Fortune 1000 companies. We do have high growth startups. Some brands like Nestle, Porsche, Goldman Sachs, and Nike are always looking for talent
Yeah.
on Braintrust. And the cool thing is the community that relies on Braintrust to find work are the same people who own and build the network to
Hmm.
ensure that it always serves the needs of its users instead of the centrally controlled corporations or investors, right? And so the vision of the network from the beginning is to spread economic opportunity more equitably around the world.
So, is it something that relates to ownership economy more than, the current base of structures of organizations? So, that's what I'm, hearing with brain trust structures. So yeah, you can explain that more. I think my viewers would be happy to know about it if it's related to
Absolutely.
ownership economy.
I love that you picked up on ownership economy right away.
Yeah,
So in 2001, people probably heard of software is eating the world.
yeah,
Whereas in 2021, we like to say blockchain is eating the middleman, right? And
definitely.
so Braintrust is leveraging cryptocurrency revolutionize the gig economy,
Hmm.
aligning incentives, putting money back into the hands of people doing the actual work, right? So the network is building a playbook for this decentralized model, the ownership economy, with the goal of creating more equitable work around the world. And so if you look at a brief history so far, what the
Hmm.
Braintrust Network has accomplished as a community,
Yeah.
it was founded in 2018 by Adam Jackson and Gabe Luda-Sasesky. We raised about 30 million in funding ever since.
Hmm.
And very happily, we're close to hitting 50 million in GSV, which is gross service value, the amount of transactions going through the platform
Mm.
in just under 2.5 years.
That
And
that's
I'll,
a big amount here with everyone coming on the platform, the talent that is there. I can, I've used the platform. I've seen that there are so many jobs from these companies, big ones as well. Um so it's amazing. It's great to see that value being provided to people who are looking for work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember, so I joined early 2020, and then like within a year, we were saying freelancers on Braintrust are making over $1 million a month. And
Wow.
then fast forward 3 more months, it's 5 million a month. Until now, it's like close to 50 million total. And it's
It's
just
amazing.
really cool to see that, there's product market fit really early on,
Yeah,
where, there's a real use case for this token, right? So Braintrust token, it's BTRSD, Btrust,
yeah.
was launched publicly and listed on Coinbase in September 2021, and attracted, not just the talent members, but also people into Web3 and crypto
Yeah,
into the community.
exactly. That was a peak time as well, and a great time to launch the token as well, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Yeah. Okay, so can you explain to me how is it different from the current platforms that are being used by freelancers these days, and what is the value that they get from the Brain Trust platform then that they don't get it from others?
Absolutely. So if you look at current freelance platforms, there we're talking about Web2 job networks, right?
Yeah,
Like Upwork and DoorDash and Fiverr. These are the more popular gig
yeah,
economy type platforms. They're built with the same old model, which is
mm,
raising and spending capital to build up marketplaces for buyers and sellers.
yeah,
And likewise, they all actually suffer from the shared flaw that once they built their network, they end up charging talent high fees. They have to, as much as 20 or 40% of their workers' revenue in order to pay back their investors, right? You hear
mm,
Silicon Valley companies raise a whole bunch of money, and you need to pay back the investors that
yeah.
way. And as Bill Gurley said, and Bill Gurley is a respected VC in the Valley, he once wrote, that's simply a rake too far. With high fees creating misaligned incentives,
Mm,
inevitably what happens is you lead to disintermediation, right? As high quality talent will abandon your networks and
yeah.
no longer serve their needs, right? I don't know about you, but I have freelance friends that use Upwork or some of these networks for a while. They develop the relationship. It's like, why do I stay on the platform if
Yeah.
they're taking a chunk of my paycheck? I'll
I
just like,
think,
yeah,
yeah, the fees that in the end, takes a lot of their incomes, and obviously when people see that, and it happens in some time when, the company reaches a level of, I think, profits or anything, and then they start charging more to their freelancer as well. So the cut is more, and then obviously the worker is getting less money. So I think that makes a lot of problems for the current model.
yeah, and not just that. That's also the fees is also why most traditional online labor marketplaces they only offer small short-term gigs,
Yeah,
right? Like especially Fiverr.
yeah,
I see like, oh, $5 a job. It's like, oh my goodness, and then you
mm,
charge fees on top of that. And the reason is because once a job becomes large enough, right, the fees makes it nearly impossible for anyone to keep those jobs on the platform,
that's
right?
a great
And
point.
once
Yeah,
the jobs go up, yeah, and once the jobs go off the platform, it no longer benefits people that are in that online network. Things like transparent ratings and reviews, you no longer rate each other if you're
yeah,
off platform, insurance and escrow, and buyers and sellers are really left to themselves. And so the high fees are necessary, right, for Web2 networks to survive once they're built to scale, but they also spell certain collapse of the network over time. And that's, the essential conundrum of the old model. And it's a flaw which creates opportunity, right,
mm,
for something new and disruptive to come along.
exactly.
And so, yeah, and actually, let's break down the numbers. If let's say you make $100,000 a
Yeah,
year, okay, as a freelance like engineer,
hmm,
in a 35-year career, you would make $3.5 million before taxes,
yeah,
right? But where you make that money really matters. If you work on a talent network that charges 20% in fees, right, like Upwork or Fiverr, then you
yeah,
would lose 700,000. of lifetime earnings, which is a lot.
Yeah,
And a network with 30% fees like Uber or DoorDash, that's over $1 million cash down the drain.
exactly.
So I mean, I don't know if you have freelance friends, but that's just one common complaint I think people have of current networks.
Yeah. Look, I have people who do that, but it's sometimes people don't even know this kind of stuff because the clarity on the kind of structure, in current environment like Web 2, obviously. So that's the point where I think Web 3 and Braintrust is disrupting the technology, and I believe that this is the way to go because obviously everyone gets value out of this, and that's the point of, the system. It should work for everyone.
For sure. And you talked about transparency. That's super important
Mm.
for a Web3 network like Braintrust. We The network charges 0% from talent. So talent, whatever your bill rate is in the proposal is
Mm.
how much you're putting in your pocket, right? Clients, we charge a 10%
Yeah,
fee, and it's a flat fee no matter what. So there's no guessing, oh, is
yeah,
there like middleman fee? There's no such thing.
exactly.
Um, yeah. And so that's the whole reason it's a decentralized talent network. The goal is to connect highly skilled talent with
Mm.
clients. And from there, you own your own connections, your network. It incentivizes people to stay on the network versus go off
Mm.
platform, right? Because
Exactly.
of the utility of the token, right?
Sure. So I would like to ask, what does the talent success look like for Braintest? What is the success for Braintest if like I am a employee or talent on Braintest?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked because I work really closely with the community members.
Hmm.
Started building our community from 300 people to 700,000,
Yeah.
and um, became friends with so many people around the world who are talents, and they share their stories with me.
Yeah.
A lot of people are have been freelancing for a long time. Some people actually are, just shifting from corporate to freelance, like maybe doing some part time to fill it out.
Yeah.
The mission again is to spread economic opportunity more equitably around the
Hmm.
world, right? We can look at the average pay rates of
Yeah.
freelancers on the network. This
Okay.
is actually all public information. So info.braintrust.com, you can see as a talent, you set your own rates,
Hmm.
right? And you keep 100% of it.
Yeah.
So you can look at actual rates of job posted and filled, right? We
Hmm.
average it for everyone. So it's like what you see is what you get. And so, for example, last time I checked, something called Elastic Security Active Directory Engineer is
Yeah.
$165 an hour. E-commerce designer is $150 an hour. Product manager, $195 an hour. Now, these are just titles and like certain skills.
Hmm.
It you can look into seniority. If you're a senior product manager, you can see what you can expect. That's
Experience
different.
level. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I think, yeah, that's a great model, and obviously, the rates there. I myself am an engineer, and I know how the current rates that we get. Like in real world, as a contractor or anything, you almost get like 40% of that. Like, I know that this is the amount that is being charged to the company, but I can't do much because there are a lot of middlemen inside. So that's the way I can see, this is changing the game for everyone. And
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And I think and with talking to the talent, it's like again, everyone has their own story, everyone has their own background.
mm,
The common thread that I see why are people going freelancing is because of freedom.
yeah,
The freedom to set your own schedule, choose
exactly.
your own projects, your race, and work from anywhere. And so again, it's just really cool to be able to see people creating their own lives, their own companies, like becoming entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
As a dancer,
definitely.
um, because of this. Yeah.
And how would you describe the community playing the role in brain trust? Community is a big part. I've seen that. I've been a part of it, and I love that. So how would you explain that?
Sure. So you probably heard of the flywheel effect. It's a concept developed by the author Jim Collins, who wrote Good to Great.
Hmm.
And you cannot create a brain trust flywheel without community component, right? And so
Yeah.
by community, I mean a very wide range of people. So they could be talent community, freelancers, Web3 community, crypto community, clients
Hmm.
and agencies, etc. And community members participate in governance, right,
Yeah.
which decides major protocol updates, policy changes, decides what the different nodes build,
Yeah.
what they like to change, what they want to implement. And this year, community members are also participating in grants and bounties to help
Hmm.
build the network together, right? This core concept of, hey, the core team is always going to stay small,
Yeah.
30 or 40 people max, right? And the network should be built by nodes and community enabled through community grants and programming, right? So, and one important thing is if you look at our website anywhere, we call our community members owners of the network, right?
Yeah.
So community will always be the foundation of brain trust.
That's amazing. I think yeah, that's the way to go in future. Obviously, we've been seeing a lot of DAOs coming out from last couple of years, and I think Braintrust is on that path already. And yeah, like I would like to know this is uh, that has been done till now, and what would you think that future holds for Braintrust?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's so much to share, but I think
We can do another session after this, but yeah, like we'll have a longer version of these videos for it.
yeah, I would actually love to hear your view sometime as a participant. But
Yeah,
I think first I'd like to share about a committee proposed and implemented B-Trust fee converter that launched earlier this year.
yeah,
Essentially, because of the fee converter, right?
mm,
Every time a client pays a transaction, a fee on Braintrust, it
yeah.
gets converted into B-Trust and then fed back to the community. So
Okay,
client money comes in,
yeah.
10% of that gets put into the community treasury, right?
So
And then, yeah,
is that working through a smart contract? Um,
yes,
yeah, so on Ethereum blockchain, yeah. That's the
yes, yes,
beauty of it. We
absolutely.
haven't
Yeah,
mentioned it yet. Like,
I
it
have it.
works on Ethereum, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can, so Aiden from Snowfork, the node who developed this, that
Yeah,
has like documentation, it's like public code on GitHub. So
yeah,
um, it's really cool, but it's written as a smart contract to do this.
nice. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, that's the point of, being on the blockchain that everything is there.
And you can look to it. And so the other part of why, like the importance of the fee converter is that now demand for the B Trust token is
Mm.
actually directly programmatically linked to
Yeah,
GSV of the network, right?
yeah,
So all 10% of GSV will create buy pressure, right? To put
yeah,
to like purchase B Trust.
exactly.
And that's also really cool. It
Yeah,
creates
that's
further pushes that flywheel that we talked
yeah,
about.
that's the cycle that keeps on running after that automatically.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, and
amazing.
I think I think you read the article that Packy McCormick from Not Boring Capital
Yeah,
recently wrote about brain
yeah,
trust. So he is an investor, but it was really cool how he really sees the vision
yeah,
and supports where the network is going. But he called out, right, in his article that brain trust is making some fundamental bets similar to that of Airbnb in a
yeah,
sense that the least extractive networks can consolidate the space in which they operate and become the most valuable long term, right?
exactly.
And for brain trust, we guarantee it in code, right? And so,
That's
and
the
so
point.
yeah, and if you look at, let's say, the $1 trillion market
Mm.
between recruiting, staffing, and consulting industries, right?
Yeah,
BrainTrust charges companies 10% of
yeah,
whatever they pay people they hire from the network.
hmm,
By consolidating global flexible talent market over time, the opportunity we're talking about 100 billion in fees a year, right?
yeah,
So that's a
yeah.
huge
That's a
total,
cap.
yeah, addressable market,
Yeah,
and we absolutely believe that it's going to grow and as it becomes easier for people to find flexible work.
amazing. Now I think Braintest have has found that problem, and obviously they're resolving it in a way that is on the blockchain and using, you know, blockchain technology to do that. It's something that I'm also really passionate about because this is the real world project. It's not, just any coin that has been released out there for people to buy. That's the beauty of it, and that's why I also believe in it, and I want to be part of the community from the start. So, anyone who is looking to join it, I will put the link below in description for everything, and also put a referral link for you to join. So I also heard about a node program for Braintrust, and how can we participate in that, and who can do that?
Yeah. And so I'm glad you asked. In true decentralized fashion, there are nodes that build and contribute to Braintrust.
Yeah.
So actually there's no full-time engineer on the Braintrust core team, right?
Wow.
It's a node that builds, right? And also freelancers on a network that builds.
Yeah.
Thing with a lot of our projects and new ways we expand the business is reliant on nodes.
Hmm.
And so recently, Braintrust announced a new node, Kunai, who joined the network, and they work with clients such as MasterCard, Capital One, American Express, and had 12 million in GSV in 2021. And it's a significant expansion into financial services, right, for the
Yeah.
Braintrust network. It also
Definitely.
paves a way, yeah, it also paves the way for something greater, which means a model of node expansion into other lucrative industries and geographies can drive drastic increase in GSV and client fees converted to Btrust through that fee converter we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, essentially what Braintrust is building here is a playbook for the Web3 agency
Hmm.
model, right? Because a lot of people, I think freelancers, well, people that I've spoken to, it's like, okay, now you are really good at, let's say, a really successful engineer.
Yeah.
You want to start your own agency, that's like your own path, a new path. And so there are a lot of agencies that talked about how can they work with Braintrust,
Yeah.
right? And so now there's a way to become a node. You can apply on Braintrust, and there's token upside there if you
Yeah.
join a node.
So
Um, mhm.
if I am a recruitment agency, then I can apply for it directly because I have already a network of jobs and company that are coming to me for work
Yeah,
for
yeah,
finding
definitely.
client talents.
Yeah, so if you're an agency, there's some minimum criteria like 10 million GSV a year
Yeah.
is we're looking at the thresholds. But
Okay.
essentially it depends if if you have the right clients or you
Hmm.
have a lot of talent that you want to look, it becomes a partnership, right?
Yeah.
Um, Utilizing the Braintrust existing talent base as well as the clients.
Yeah.
Um, so
Then becomes a
it
network effect after that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if you think about in Kunai's example, right?
Hmm.
Even if they just kept their 2021 pace in the coming year,
Yeah.
this means additional 12.5 million GSV to the network. They get access to Braintrust's client base as well,
Yeah.
which means converting 1.2 million of client fees into Btrust back to the network that we talked about. And that's just one node, right?
Yeah.
And so our target is to hit as many nodes as possible, right? To
Yeah.
expand agencies to
Make it
also join
decentralized.
Braintrust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even
Yeah.
more decentralized. Yeah, that's amazing. That's great to know. It's a lot of things coming in the future for brain trust, and I think I can see it going um, very high, obviously because of this. Uh, but yeah, that's all for this video. I think you've answered all my questions that I wanted to know, but I also want to know more. So we can make a series out of this later on if everyone likes it. Thanks for coming, and it was great. It was amazing to hear from you about brain trust.
Thank you so much for having me, Sahil. And it's so great to have you as a community member.
Thanks. See ya.